Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Nerd Herders. I'm Nick.
I'm Rich.
And today we're telling you what we're up to.
Yeah.
The first thing that we're up to is right now we're drinking this week's beer.
We are.
And we should talk about it again because it's pretty tasty.
I'm enjoying this.
Drinking the Acme California IPA.
And Acme California IPA. Got a woman swinging on a rope holding her iced tea. She's like that. Remember that commercial? I think it was a Coke or Pepsi, and they were on roller coasters, and he was holding his Coke, his drink the right way, and it never spilled.
Yep.
That's what she's doing here. She's like swinging, doing all these like acrobatic stuff, and her iced tea is perfect.
Just swinging around.
She's way too excited.
It's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
I recommend it. From the fine folks over at the Acme Corporation.
I know a coyote who wouldn't recommend it so much, but we do.
But we do. Meet. So what are we up to? Why don't you go first?
Sure. Movie or game first?
Let's go with game this time.
Cool. So I have been playing a little game called The Witness. Have you heard of this, correct?
Yes, it's a Harrison Ford film.
Yes. So they made it into a game. It's a side scroller similar to the old Star Wars, Indiana Jones games of the NES. No. So The Witness.
You know that movie though, Witness. I am still to this day afraid of bathrooms in airports.
Really?
Because of Witness. I saw it as a very young kid, and if you don't know the plot of that movie, a little Amish kid in a bus station bathroom, sees a murder, sees Danny Glover kill somebody, and I still am uneasy.
You just every time you go in an airport bathroom, you just picture
I'm
Danny
not
Glover
even joking.
standing there.
I'm like, I don't like this. It's the weird. It stuck with me for my whole life.
Danny Glover's gonna get you.
It's Danny Glover's fault. Peter Berg's fault.
Yeah.
But anyway, this game of Witness.
So The Witness. Wow, this is something.
Story about the bathroom.
Story about the bathroom. So this, if you don't know, it just came out. Jonathan Blow, he did Braid. It took him about 7 years to make this. You basically, I don't want to get too much into the details of the story, which I'm still actually trying to kind of work around. But you sort of wake up on this island, and there's hundreds of puzzles all over the island. You have to do a series of them to basically open up these beams of light that go to the middle of the island, and I haven't gotten that far yet. They're still working on finding these puzzles. And then there's side puzzles and side things you can do and find, and they're all like these grid puzzles. And I went into this not necessarily thinking I was going to like it, but not sure, because I'm not big on like puzzle games or like point and click adventure games or anything like that. Like that's just never clicked for me. So I was like, man,
I get your point.
Yeah. So, and kind of hearing the early reviews and the way people talked about these puzzles and like the scribblings in their notebooks and all this stuff, and like the reviewers and stuff were saying, I was like, is this really me? Is this going to be for me? Should I try it? Should I not try it? And so I just finally bought the bullet and downloaded it. Bought it legally, downloaded it from the PSN. That's a rant for another day. And just started going one puzzle at a time, and next thing I know, it's like 6 hours later, and where's this time gone? Like it's really interesting how they do it, and I've read it and heard it compared to kind of like learning a language almost, where it starts you off and there's here's a grid puzzle, kind of just as basic as you can get. Okay, get it from point A to point B. Okay, and you do that. Okay, well now we're gonna just tweak it a little bit. Okay, and then you kind of get through that series, and then you get to another spot on the island, another area, and they throw something else at you. So here's a symbol. Okay, well if I want to do this, and you kind of play with it, and you have to figure out what that symbol means to solve the puzzle. And then you go through a series of that as they further build and expand on that, and next thing you know, you're working on these puzzles with like four different types of these symbols where you have to, fulfill all the different requirements, and this means I got to split these colors, and this means I got to have like this kind of shape in my design, and this means this, and blah 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 blah. It's really interesting, but it's really frustrating at times. Now you have not played this yet, correct?
I have not. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and different things. We've probably heard the same conversations, and most people have nothing but praise for this game. Some very, very high praise. And the reviews have been amazing, but I'm sort of in the same boat as you, where it's still like, I don't think that would be for
Mhm.
me. And everything that they're saying is like, I don't think that I would like that. And I don't think that I would devote that time to it.
Mhm.
But maybe it's sort of the thing where, like you, I just need to try it and then
Yeah.
get sucked in, or maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would be right.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I admire so much about like the process of making that game in the 7 years or whatever it took,
Mhm.
and how that's, you know, seemingly paid off. But I just don't know. I'm very intrigued to try it,
Mhm.
but it is, you know, I've got a backlog of games and it's $40
Sure.
and blah blah blah, and I don't think I would like it, but I just don't know. Eventually, it's gonna happen. I mean, I can't hear so many people praise it, yourself included, and just be like, all right, I'm never gonna try it. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I have to, but I just don't know. It's just
Yeah, that's exactly how I was like, and we talked about it prior to me getting it. I was like, man, she's like, I don't know if I want to get it through a Lewis and the money. It is $40. Like, nothing against spending $40 in a game. I think it's well worth it. They put all that time into it. It's well worth your money. I'm not going to get into that debate of, you know, a lot of people complain that it was $40. I don't care about that.
$60.
But I have the same, you know, I would have the same dilemmas buying a normal priced game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If I wasn't sure if it was something that I'm really that into. But I know, like, for me, like, it's definitely worth it thus far. But yeah, like, just the other night, like, I started at like 9 o'clock, and then next thing I knew it was like 4 a.m. I'm like, what? Okay, I guess I'm gonna, like, I was getting really tired, and I'm like, things weren't starting to make sense anymore. I was like, man, I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna look at this with fresh eyes. But yeah, and there's even bigger puzzles in it that aren't necessarily required from what I've seen to complete the game, but they're extra things to do if you really want to go that extra mile, and these weird environmental puzzles and other things in addition to these grids, and it's something.
It definitely sounds really cool. You know, I've heard some people were comparing it to like Myst, and I really did not like Myst as a kid.
Okay.
And other people are like comparing it to Lost, and I love Lost. So it's like all these like conflicting things in my head where I'm like, you might like that, you might not, you might. And I just have to try it.
Yeah, we've talked about doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try and do a let's play of it. I'll show it to you. You can check it out. I'm a little bit further in the game, so you'll get the idea of kind of what it is, and that way, if you guys are trying to decide if it's something that you want to get or not, then you can see it too.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll have that video up soon.
Yeah. So I've been playing that, and then I just saw the new Coen Brother film, Hail Caesar.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Good.
I liked it a lot. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, or in the top. Like, I feel like it's like kind of a middle tier Coen Brother movie, and one that probably on repeat viewings I'm going to enjoy it more and more, as you often do, kind of on their stuff, and you catch more stuff.
Yeah.
It's very much a love letter to old style Hollywood and the types of films we don't get anymore. Like, there is a full musical number in this, shot exactly like an old 50s like dance number. Like, it's really interesting, and it's kind of being mismarketed.
That's what I've heard.
Where it's, you know, it's being pushed as like, oh, it's all about this caper and George Clooney and blah blah blah, and him being kidnapped. It's really more about Josh Brolin running this studio and all the different characters and the different, you know, kind of tropey actors and actresses and people working there, and this type of movie is being filmed and that type of star and this thing and this drama's going on here, and a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that you've heard stories of from like the 40s and 50s in the studio system.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this. I get really excited, I think, when the Coen brothers are like initially misunderstood, like when the reviews are kind of like this, where it's like some people, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people who love it and people who just hate this.
And sometimes that's kind of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite Coen brother movies have kind of started off that way. So I'm really excited. The cast is amazing. And I'll probably be talking about it next week.
Cool.
But I have not seen it yet. But I have been up to something.
What have you been up to?
Not much, but I was able to catch the first episode of The People v. O.J. Simpson,
Oh.
American Crime Story, which is the new FX show. And just to kind of set up my involvement with the show, which I was not actually involved in making the show, but when this was announced, you know, I was somebody who the first like 4 seasons of American Horror Story or so, I'd watch like an episode or 2 and fall off, and I didn't even bother with American whatever it was, Hotel.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Lee. Overall, I don't usually like Ryan Murphy, and I had literally told multiple people that I could not be paid to watch American Crime Story. I was so out on it, and I was just not interested, and I was hoping it would be awful. But then the reviews came out, and the reviews were all so great for this. And it sounded, to me, I was like, Cuba Gooding Jr. and John Travolta, like, woo! They haven't been good in like years. The reviews were so good, and I was like, you know what? I'll just record it. I'll check it out. I'll see. It's fantastic.
Really?
It's really good. I attempted to watch the second episode. For some reason, when we DVR'd it, it is like, it's like a bad VHS tape. So I wasn't able to watch the second episode. Yeah, it was really weird. So I've only seen the first, which is like a 80-minute episode. It's really good, and it gets you right from the beginning. And what I had to keep reminding myself as I was watching it, because, you know, we were both alive when OJ was caught, but I don't remember much about it.
No,
all I remember is like, I remember seeing the Bronco going the chase, the white Ford Bronco, and I remember like it always being on the news, and my mom talking about it, and just always being on the news. But I don't know much about it.
I really don't remember hardly. You're a little bit older than me.
Older, yeah.
I don't remember much of any of it.
But you know, the first episode, like, things were happening, and I was just like, I had to keep reminding myself, this is not a documentary. This is a show. That might not be true. That might not have been that obvious, but it is so well acted. The tone of it's great. It feels very much like something like a Spotlight, where it's very like thorough and like following all these different threads. And I was very surprised, and I hope that the show maintains the quality. I've heard and read some reviews of it since I watched it, that of people who had seen like the first like 4 episodes or so, and it seems like the quality does stay. And I know American Crime Story season 2, they've already said is going to be about Hurricane Katrina, so that could be some rich storytelling too. Yeah, FX looks like they knocked this one out of the park. I would recommend watching it.
I remember reading stories about the show and stuff, and it never, from what I had seen in headlines, referred to it as American Crime. It was always The People versus O.J. Simpson. And Cuba Gooding Jr. was going to be, I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. Like, he hasn't done much in a while, but like when he's on, like he's really good.
Sure.
And then like the first reviews came out, and it was The People versus O.J. Simpson, colon American Crime Story, and I was like, is this? And then I looked in and I was like, oh, another Ryan Murphy show.
Yeah.
I hate Glee. After like this first season of American Horror Story, I didn't care for it, and I gave up after like another 2. And I was like, I'm out. And then like what you're telling me and everything I've read, it's just supposed to be great.
It's very good. And I mean, yeah, there's Cuba and Travolta, but there's also Sarah Paulson and Selma Blair and David Schwimmer and Bruce Greenwood, and like on and on down the line. Like the cast is fantastic, and it's really good. I'm excited to watch more, and hopefully, like I said, it maintains. But other than that, you know, I've watched some other TV, you know, Flash and X-Files, and all that's still good. But specifically, that was the one thing that I definitely wanted to highlight, and you know, it did well. I think it was the most watched premiere for a new show for FX in, I think they said ever or something like that. So
that's great.
So that's good for them, and it's good for the show, and yeah, check it out.
Awesome.
But that's what we've been up to. What have you been up to? You can let us know on Twitter. I'm at Stonks.
I'm at Rich Belson, and the channel's on Twitter at OABeer_official. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer and email us at overabeerofficial@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram now at over_a_beer. You can find us on YouTube by searching for Nerd Herders or Over Beer. Clicking this video will take you to our YouTube channel. Like I always say, I don't have a custom YouTube URL yet. We need another 50 subscribers. So if you like these videos, please share them with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. I think it's going to wrap it up for today. So until next time, we'll see you guys later.